There's a moment that quietly changes people's lives, and most people don't even notice it happening. It's the moment right before action, right before the message gets sent. The project begins, the difficult thing finally moves forward, and instead of acting, you drift. You adjust something minor, check something quickly, tell yourself you'll start properly in a minute, and without really noticing it, the moment passes. Most people think their outcomes are shaped later. They're not. They're shaped there, in those small moments where things could move forward, and you quietly move sideways instead. You think the problem is discipline, but discipline isn't what disappears there. And once you start noticing that moment, something else becomes clear. Because what happens there doesn't just affect whether you start something, it quietly shapes what your life turns into. And here's where the pattern becomes visible. You open something you've been meaning to start, a message, a project, an idea that's been sitting there for days, and for a moment, you're in it, clear, ready. Then something small happens. You tweak one line, adjust something minor, tell yourself you'll come back properly, and just like that, you're out of it. No dramatic collapse, no obvious failure, just a subtle shift, away from movement. You weren't avoiding the task, you were avoiding the moment before it. That's the moment the outcome actually starts changing, not later, right there. The moment where it could go either way, and you drift. I think of it as decision drift. That small point where the action is right there, but you slide sideways into something easier, and the outcome quietly changes before anything visible has even happened. And this is where the pattern starts shaping entire lives, because repeated often enough, you don't just delay tasks, you delay decisions, risks, conversations, opportunities. You hesitate at the edge of movement, again and again, until hesitation becomes part of your life structure. And eventually, that starts showing up in the outcomes people focus on, including money. Most people are taught to look at money as the source of control, but money usually arrives after something else, after decisions, after risks, after moments where someone either moved or drifted away. That changes how you see it, because most people stare at the result and try to fix that. How do I make more money? How do I get better outcomes? But outcomes are often downstream of smaller invisible patterns, patterns that repeat quietly, long before the result appears. I remember noticing this in a very small moment, nothing dramatic. I had something open in front of me, something that genuinely mattered, and I could feel it, that slight tension that appears right before you do something real. And instead of moving, I adjusted something, then something else. Then I told myself I'd come back to it properly. And within minutes, I was doing something completely unrelated. It didn't feel like avoidance. It felt reasonable, productive even. But later on, nothing had changed. And that's when it clicked. The result didn't change because the moment that creates it had already passed. That moment isn't random either. Your internal state matters. Not because reality magically rearranges itself, but because your state changes what you do next. When you're tense, you hesitate. When you're uncertain, you delay. When you don't trust yourself, you look for more input instead of movement. And it all feels reasonable while it's happening. That's why the pattern survives. But shift the state slightly, and something else happens. You move a little sooner, decide a little cleaner, follow through where you normally wouldn't. Nothing extreme, just different. And over time, that compounds into paths taken, into opportunities entered, into outcomes that seem from the outside, like luck, like momentum, like money appearing, which explains something people notice all the time, but rarely understand clearly. Two people can face the exact same opportunity, the same idea, the same starting point, and still end up somewhere completely different, because one moves and one drifts, or delays just long enough for the moment to pass. That difference looks tiny when you're inside it, but enormous once enough time passes. So eventually, the question changes. Not, How do I get better outcomes? But what pattern am I repeating right before movement happens? Because that's the level where outcomes actually begin. And once you start seeing that moment clearly, something shifts, not dramatically, quietly. You notice the point where it could go either way, and for the first time, you don't automatically drift. And once you see that, you stop obsessing over the outcome and start paying attention to the moment that creates it. Most people never realize that moment even exists. If that gave you something to notice, you'll find more of it here. This channel isn't about telling you what to do. It's about showing you what's already happening.